All right. So I am State Representative Melissa Sargent, and Senator Chris Larson and I are dividing our forces today. He's going to be in Milwaukee unveiling this bill. The two of us have worked on together to create a Freedom Succeed, a promise of a debt-free college for the people of the state of Wisconsin. We know through science and data, through lived experience, that a higher education provides students with the freedom and the opportunity to live a prosperous life. And in today's global economy, we need an educated workforce. That's really clear. A college degree is becoming a prerequisite in our competitive economy. And our young people are smart. I live with a number of these young people, and they understand this reality all too well. And they're willing to take on the workload of college. They're willing to work hard, and they're willing to play by the rules. And they're willing to take on the financial burdens associated with it. But it's too much. As the mother of two sons who are currently in high school, and two more that will be there far too soon, I fear for the difficult choices that they're having to make. Too many young people around Wisconsin see a path that has a fork in it, foregoing a higher education out of the fear of what that debt is going to do to them, or being left with a mountain of student loan debt, like an anchor tied to their ankles. It is completely counterproductive to our country's best interest and the state of Wisconsin's best interest to continue forward with the system that is tying the hands of our future generations. That's why today, Senator Larson and I are announcing a plan to bring debt-free college to Wisconsin. We call it the Wisconsin Promise. Let me be clear, frank, up front, this is not a handout. It's a hand up for our students who work hard and play by the rules. These students are going to have to maintain a GPA of 3.0 throughout their time in school. They're going to have to agree to stay in Wisconsin, to invest in our community, and work for 3 years in our state after they graduate. We can educate and prepare our young people, and we can address brain drain all at the same time. This gives the people of Wisconsin, our students, the freedom that does not currently exist in our student debt loan crisis reality. This provides our students with the freedom to afford that does not one of a life of luxury, but simply a path towards an education and the ability to live their lives, to pursue the American dream, that same dream that people have been able to do for many generations. When I went to school, I graduated with $3,000 in debt. I was able to work hard, I was able to play by the rules, and I was able to get forward. I was able to buy a house, buy a car, start a family without that fear. And too many young people are making really unfortunate choices. They want to be parents, they want to buy houses, they want to go out to dinner at restaurants, and they're not able to because of the student loan debt that is around their ankles. This bill, the Freedom to Succeed, is good for Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a deep and proud progressive history, and we've blazed a path on many issues across our country, and we're going to continue that with this bill. We've taken on big challenges in the past, and we have risen to them, and I don't expect that this is going to be any different. We must not stand idly by while our future course is diverted in crisis, a crisis that we can change. We can avoid it with debt-free college. Our state finances are about priorities, and I firmly believe that we must prioritize higher education just as much as we prioritize K-12. We should be putting just as much into our precious resources, our children, as we do into other things. The Wisconsin promises many things. It is a promise that each child that's born in Wisconsin will be educated from kindergarten until the day they put on that cap and gown and their family is there celebrating their accomplishments. The Wisconsin promise says that the people of our state, that we do not accept that 70% of the students in our state are borrowing money to be able to go to college. And the Wisconsin promise says that an average debt of $29,000 is an unreasonable burden for the 22-year-olds that are graduating from college. We are better than this. We are a better society. We are better than a system that has everyday ordinary people paying off their student debt into their 70s. We are better than a system in which some will have to pass on their loans to their children when they die. We can turn the page and we can create something better. And I'm calling on my colleagues, and Senator Larson is calling on his colleagues in both the Assembly and the Senate to join us in supporting the Wisconsin Promise today. Thank you. I'm happy to answer questions.
Is there a residency requirement for this bill?
It's for in-state students, yes.
So how long is the requirement that they be in-state before they
If
can
they're
apply?
qualified as in-state students.
Is there a fiscal estimate to this bill?
Not yet, we're waiting for that. There's been similar programs in Tennessee and Oregon, and I know that there has been other pieces of legislation that have been proposed in Wisconsin when it comes to technical colleges, as well as, you know, some of the bills that have been moving forward through the Assembly last week. Ultimately, a lot of that is nibbling around the edges. And this bill would be technical colleges, it would be four-year colleges, and it would be colleges that are provided by our sovereign nations as well.
So the Tennessee Promise, those other programs, those work by paying everything other than what Pell pays for. Is that what this bill?
This bill would include housing and books, as well as college tuition, living expenses for young folks.
And I'm sorry if I missed a release for kind of the details of how the work are laid out. So what exactly would the state be paying for in this? I mean, basically every cost other than what Pell funds, or?
The cost will be calculated by using the median student income for our students, either through the tribal colleges, the tech colleges, or the UW system. And it would be based on the Higher Education Aids Board grant system.
Just to clarify what you just said, it would cover tuition, housing, and student
Tuition, fees, housing, and textbooks, so it would be wraparound. We know that there's more than just paying tuition that costs money for folks.
And if students have other funding sources, like scholarships or things with this?
That would be taken into consideration, yes, so that would bring down what it is that they're eligible to. They would be eligible to it.
Would students' families be expected to pay their expected family contribution?
This would take that into consideration.
So they would be expected to pay. Families would be expected to pay that.
So I have a copy of the piece of legislation. I'm happy to share it with you at the end. Yeah, thanks.
What's the LRB on the?
So it's LRB 2860. And it's a grant, so if for some reason they decided to move out of college or out of Wisconsin, or they didn't complete their college career, or their grade point went down, then it would roll into a regular student loan debt, a student loans process, the way we currently have.
You mentioned 3 years afterwards that they would have to remain in Wisconsin. Would that be a penalty if they decide to move out?
If they moved out of Wisconsin, then it would revert back into a student loan as opposed to the grant program.
Would that be prorated at all for the years, like if they stay for 2 years?
It's all or nothing.
Okay.
What about a student who graduates with a bachelor's degree and goes out of state for a graduate degree or out of state for medical school? What happens to those students?
This program would be at graduation. They would be promising to work within Wisconsin. I think that's a good point. We should look into that.
So they would be promising to work in?
They would be promising to work in Wisconsin for 3 years, and there's a time limit. I'd have to look it up. I believe it's within 3 months they would be required to get a job in Wisconsin.
What do you think is the most important difference between this and some of the other programs that have been proposed out there? I mean, Governor Walker's come up with a plan, Senator Hansen had a plan. What was this?
Well, Senator Hansen and Representative Mason have a wonderful bill that addresses student loan debt and refinancing, and I am a firm supporter of that piece of legislation. We absolutely need to do something to allow folks to be able to refinance their student loans. This goes hand in glove with that piece of legislation. In my opinion, if you're addressing the student loan debt crisis and allowing people to refinance, that doesn't address the fact that college tuition and the cost of going forward with your higher education is spiraling out of control, and many people are not able to go to college despite the fact that they've worked very hard. So this actually provides a path. If you are committed, if you roll up your sleeves, if you work hard and you commit to the state of Wisconsin, we're going to take care of you because you're taking care of us. You're going to become part of our tax base. You're going to be bringing money back into the state. And ultimately, here in Wisconsin, we have prioritized corporations. We've prioritized giving tax breaks to corporations as opposed to investing in our young people. And we've had billions of dollars move out of our state in those corporate giveaways. We could be promising our children a better path, and that's what this does.
Republicans have a number of proposals that they're trying to address college affordability. Why keep moving forward on individual Democratic proposals rather than trying to work with them on some of those?
They are not interested in looking at amendments to the bills that they put forward. The Republicans have said this is what they're moving forward with, and they're not interested in having a conversation about beefing it up and actually making a difference in people's lives. It's a very limited program that they've proposed. This is something that is a promise to every child in the state of Wisconsin, that they know as they're going through school, whether they're going to go to a tech school, whether they're going to go to a four-year college, that they're going to be able to be taken care of. And they will then in turn be taking care of the state. They will become hard-working people, everyday ordinary people that are owning houses and paying taxes, playing by the rules, raising their kids here, investing in us, because we invested in them. And I can't think of a better promise to be making to our future generations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.